Greetings from the Atlas Trap Company. Today we are going to show how to change out your main cocking spring for a commercial trap. The first thing we want to do, which is incredibly important, is to make sure the trap is in a decocked position and unhooked from power. Right now the throwing arm's off to the side, so presumably it's semi-decocked, but we always want to check. So we're hooked up to power. We're going to go ahead and put our switch up. Now we know the trap is cocked. We're going to push the switch all the way to the down position. We're going to fire and release. Now we can see the arm off to the side. The switch has gone to the neutral position. And for safety, we're going to go ahead and unhook the battery quick disconnect. So now we know we're in a safe spot where we can work on this. You're going to need 3/4 ratcheting wrench and ideally pliers with a soft grip here, or you could use pliers and use a rag. We're going to eventually hold on to the spring threads here before we take it off. So the first thing we're going to do is loosen the lock nut here on the back. Once we get that loose, we can run up this flange nut just a little bit. And now we're going to start to loosen our lock nut here. It's going to take a little bit depending on how much tension you have. When we get close to the end, we're going to want to hold on to the threads, because even though it's semi-decocked, there is still a little bit of tension on the spring, and we don't want this to pop on us when we get this loose. So I'm going to go ahead and grip the threads now and then keep loosening this. And I caught it there from popping on us. So we're going to change out the spring. We're going to go ahead and just go ahead and unhook it at this point. Now your spring's out and you can put a new spring in. So we're just going to go ahead and use this as our example. But first, we're going to move this throwing arm to the front so it's a lot easier to put the new spring on so we're not fighting tension. We're going to hook the battery back up to provide power. On our toggle switch over here, we're going to bump it, say 3 or 4 times. And because the spring's out and now it's safe, we can push on this arm. I'll push it through there. And it's stuck here, so I might bump it one more time. Straight out to the front, so now we're not going to be fighting the tension when we put the new spring back on. It's really important that we hook it from inside of the machine with the hook facing out. We're going to hook it like that. Still have our flange nut on the outside here. We got our washer and then our lock nut. So now, since we're not fighting tension, you can kind of pick how tight you want this to be. But you can run this flange nut up as high as you want, and then you'll just tighten the back nut. But then once you are, if I want to get a little bit more, you just have to run that up. But either way, you want to make sure this gets nice and tight once you do pick your spot. So this back one, put a couple turns on there. Make sure this is really tight, otherwise you'll damage the threads when it's firing. But if you're satisfied with where your tension is and you're ready to operate the machine, you can go ahead and put the switch up. And that'll cock the trap, and then you're ready to operate.